my name is Madeline and welcome back to my channel, Cozy Cottage Chapters, and welcome to my January TBR. This is my second time making a monthly TBR. I really enjoyed it for December. I felt like it gave me so much clarity and direction in my reading for the month and just helped me to keep my reading momentum going and not just be confused and unsure of what I wanted to read next. So I'm doing it again in January with high hopes. My main kind of goal for January is participating in Epistolary January, which is a month-long readathon focusing on epistolary works hosted by a bunch of people who I will leave linked below. I love the epistolary genre, so I am super excited about this readathon, and I am definitely wanting to read lots of epistolary things in January. So without further ado, let's get into the books. I will talk about the epistolary January books first, and then some of the other things that I am feeling in the mood for and thinking I might enjoy in January. Alright, first up, this isn't technically epistolary, but I'm gonna count it, and this is a carryover from the month of December, and that is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. And this is the complete novel featuring the characters' letters and manuscripts written and folded by hand. It's curated by Barbara Heller. And so it's exactly what it sounds like. Inside the book there are all of these pockets containing letters that pertain to the story or different manuscripts and things like that. So while it's not technically epistolary, I'm kind of giving it an honorary epistolary title. And I'm really enjoying my very slow, cozy reread of Little Women. Another book that I've technically already started, I started this in November for Nonfiction November, but then kind of put it aside once I heard about Epistolary January, and I think this would be the perfect time to finish it, and that is the Journal of Katherine Mansfield. I only got 40 pages into this in November, so not very far at all. And I don't really know anything about Katherine Mansfield. I haven't read any of her other works, but I enjoy reading journals, and so I thought this would be fun. And I don't have too much to say yet. It's not super interesting. It's not super thought-provoking. She talks a lot about the struggles of being a writer and having, creative blocks and not knowing what to write about. So I think a lot of creative people can definitely identify with her struggles and what she's talking about. But yeah, I'm interested to kind of see how this progresses. It's not super long. It's only about 250 pages, so not long at all. And I obviously love the Persephone editions, so I wanted to read this. And then my final pick, again, this isn't fully epistolary, but I just flipped through it and I saw a number of letters included, so I'm going to kind of put this in Epistolary January, but that is Dancing Peel by Lorna Hill. This is a story of Annette Dancy, who dreams of being a ballerina, and she is living, I believe, in Scotland. This will be very fun. The first part of this is called Winter, and then the second part is Summer. So I think it'll be really nice to read this in the winter time. All right, and then I have a number of Kindle books, either on hold from the library, already borrowed, already ready to go for Epistolary January. The first being Wired Love by Ella Cheever Thayer. This I heard about from Anne from In Search of Wonder, and this is a love story where we follow two operators, I believe, and something about that just immediately struck my fancy, and I was like, I need to read this book. So I've never really heard about it, but I am excited, and I believe this is told completely in letters. It's totally epistolary. Next up is Sorcery and Cecelia, or The Enchanted Chocolate Pot, and this is by Patricia C. Wrede and Caroline Stevermer. Yeah, I have no idea. This is historical fantasy set in the Regency period with some magic. Much about this. The cover looks really promising, and I saw that it was epistolary, so it seems like fun. And I am in a definite historical fantasy reading mood right now, so that sounds perfect. Then I have Up the Down Staircase by Kaufman. This takes place in a school, and the story is told through letters, notes, memos, all kinds of different written documents that take place in school. And I'm super excited because those are like two super buzzwords for me: school setting and epistolary. So I have a feeling I'm going to really enjoy that. Finally, I've also kind of been in the mood lately for mysteries, and I heard about this one, which is epistolary, and that is The Appeal by Janice Hallett. This apparently takes place in a theater, and we have a murder that takes place, and this is a more modern epistolary, so there are emails, text messages, things like that, which is always a lot of fun, and that is one of the prompts for Epistolary January, so that could easily fulfill that. I'm not paying too much attention to the various prompts for Epistolary January. I've kind of assembled some books that I'm interested in, and then at the end of the month I like to kind of go in and see what kinds of prompts I was able to fulfill as just kind of an extra bonus. So I'm not too focused on that for now. And I'm also interested in reading Mr. Darcy's Diary by Amanda Grange. This is another one that Anne has talked about that sounds absolutely perfect. This is what it sounds like. It's Mr. Darcy's diary that takes place during the events of the book Pride and Prejudice, but we're getting it from Darcy's point of view. This sounds so much fun, and I'm super excited to read it. Finally, I have The Berlin Letters by Katherine Reay. This was one of the book club poll choices for Tammy from Protagonist Pub's January book club, and I thought it sounds really interesting. It's historical fiction, it's epistolary, so I thought that would be an excellent choice to kind of round out my epistolary reading for the month. So I also want to read The Woods in Winter by Stella Gibson in January. This is Jen from Jen's Reading Life. She has a book club that she co-hosts, and this is the pick for January. I'm not sure I'm going to participate in the book club all year long, but some of the books I already have on my TBR, I already own and I'm looking to read, so this kind of gives me the motivation to get to them. So I hope to get to that one. I might hear some baby noises as I try to wrap this up. My TBR is pretty heavy on ebooks, which is good because I read mostly ebooks, but I do feel like I need maybe a little bit more physical books on my TBR. We're gonna go with Astrid the Unstoppable by Maria Parr. This takes place in Norway. It's middle grade, it looks lovely, and I really want to read this. So hopefully I can get to it in January because it looks so wintry and so cozy. And finally, I have a reread that I hope to get to, and that is The Winter Garden by Kristen Hanna. I read this a number of years ago. I don't remember whether I liked it or not at all. And I want to kind of clear up my library and keep books that I really love and will want to reread. So I want to reread this to know if I really like it enough to keep it on my shelves. And I mean, like, look at how wintry that is. I feel like I need to read it in January. That is it for my January TBR. Let me know what you're looking forward to reading this month, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!